Week 6 is in the books, folks. You know what that means. It's time to go around the league with scores, standings, Player of the Week awards, and a new section that I'm adding to the show this week. We're going to call it Questions heading into next week. But we'll get there towards the end. Let's start with scores first. The Packers win in Atlanta 24-10. Aaron Jones had a huge day on the ground, 22 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown. The defense also picked up Matt Ryan twice, despite him throwing for 336 yards. The interceptions were by Kevin King and Darnell Savage. Lions go into Minnesota and come out victorious 28-14 over the Vikings. Matthew Stafford had a 76% completion percentage on the way to 2 touchdowns. He also was helped on the ground by Kerryon and Ty Johnson, who both had rushing touchdowns. Carolina wins at home over the struggling Chiefs 17-3. It was a slow day offensively for both teams, but Cam Newton was able to throw 2 touchdowns in this one to DJ Moore, the other to David Moore. Jacksonville explodes offensively and wins against Miami at home 31-14. Rookie quarterback Demetrius Maddox threw 3 touchdowns on 238 yards passing. The Titans return home and get a W against their AFC rivals, the Colts, 20-13. Marcus Mariota threw a touchdown pass and Devontae Royster got one on the ground. Adam Humphries had the big day catching the ball, racking up 107 yards and a touchdown on 6 catches. We saw our Ravens lose at home for the first time in Coach Reid's career, 20-13 to the Bengals. The Bengal defense forced 3 turnovers, all by Lamar Jackson, and the ground game was excellent. Joe Mixon could not be stopped, racking up 128 yards. The Jets turn on the thrusters and soar for 21 points in the fourth quarter to blow out the Patriots in New Jersey, 31-17. Sam Darnold had a huge day in this one, throwing for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns. This time, it's Quincy Enunwa having the big receiving day with 116 yards. It takes overtime, but the Seahawks are able to pull out the 23-17 win over the Saints at home. Russell Wilson had a touchdown pass and was helped on the ground by a Chris Carson rushing touchdown as well. The Cowboys end the Cardinals' undefeated season with a 28-21 win in Arizona. Dallas had to score 21 points in the fourth quarter to complete the comeback win. The defense picked off Kyler Murray 4 times and Dak Prescott threw 2 touchdown passes in the come-from-behind victory. Philly goes into LA and beats the Rams at home by a touchdown 17-10. Carson Wentz racked up 323 passing yards and 2 touchdowns as the Eagles fly to the win. Denver wins at home over the Bills 24-14 despite losing their star rookie quarterback Nathan Russell. Drew Lock came in and played well enough to help them win, throwing for 132 yards and a score. Russell will miss the next 2 weeks with a shoulder tear. The Chargers shocked the Browns on Sunday night at home and surged to a come-from-behind 28-25 win. They scored all 28 points in the second half. It was the ground attack for San Diego that led the way. Justin Jackson scored twice, while Melvin Ingram also had a touchdown rush. In the Monday night game, the Texans pull off the upset and dethrone the Bears from the undefeated tower with a 24-17 win. Deshaun Watson balled out in this one with 3 touchdown passes and 325 yards through the air. Steven Mitchell Jr. showed off in this one as well, with 142 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. And finally, on Thursday night, the Steelers get the win at home over the Raiders 30-15. James Conner ran for 101 yards, but it was Big Ben Roethlisberger's 3 touchdown passes that helped lead the way to the victory. Time to take a look at standings now, starting with the AFC North. We have a 2-way tie for first place between the Steelers and the Ravens. The Browns are in third place at 3-2, Bengals in last place at 2-3. In the AFC South, a 3-way tie for first. Colts, Jaguars, and Texans are all 3-3. Meanwhile, the Titans are 2-4 in last place. In the AFC East, it's the Jets in first place at 4-2, Patriots in second at 3-3, Bills 2-4 in third, and the Dolphins still in last place, 1-4. And the AFC West, the Chargers in first place at 4-2, Raiders and Broncos tied for second at 3-3, Chiefs in last place at 1-5. Over to the NFC now with the North. The Bears still in first place at 5-1. Packers in second at 3-2. Lions in third, 2-3, and the Vikings are in last place with a 1-4 record. The Panthers lead the NFC South 5-1. Falcons in second place at 3-3. Buccaneers 1-4. Meanwhile, the Saints are 0-5. In the NFC East, it's the Cowboys still atop in first place at 5-1. Eagles right behind them though at 4-2. Meanwhile, the Giants and Redskins are both 0-5. In the NFC West, the 49ers had a bye week, so they remain atop and still undefeated at 5-0. Cardinals 5-1 in second place. Seahawks also 5-1, tied for second. And the Rams in last place at 1-4. Time for our AFC and NFC Player of the Week awards for Week 6. Let's start in the AFC with Deshaun Watson, the quarterback for the Texans. Again, had a big day, 325 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. And on the defensive side, it's Josh Allen, the right end of the Jaguars. 6 tackles and 5 sacks. He was a force in the backfield all game. Tough to stop a man like that who's on a mission to just get to the quarterback. 5 sacks. Allen had a fantastic day getting to the quarterback in their game. On the defensive side, it's Carson Wentz of the Eagles getting the hardware this week. His 2 touchdowns and 323 yards get him the award. Meanwhile, on the defensive side, it's defensive tackle Damon Harrison of the Lions. 8 tackles and 3 sacks get him the award this week. Congratulations to everyone, all 4 guys who won the Player of the Week awards this week in Week 6. Let's take a look at our game for next week, shall we? The Ravens and the Steelers are set to meet once again. Steelers winners of 4 in a row now. Since beating Baltimore back in Week 4, 31-17, they have gone on a tear. Like I said, 4 wins in a row. They're on a hot streak right now. Both teams tied first place in the division at 4-2. Steelers, however, with a 2-0 division record. Meanwhile, the Ravens with a 1-2 record in the North. Key players for the Steelers in this one. Of course, you gotta talk about Ben Roethlisberger. He's 3rd in the league in passing yards with 1,643. And he also leads the league in passing touchdowns with 16. Juju Smith-Schuster, he is 2nd in the league with receiving yards behind Marquise Brown with 499. He's also tied for 2nd in the league for receiving touchdowns with 6. And on the defensive side, you gotta talk about Stephon Tuitt, team leader in sacks with 5. Meanwhile, TJ Watt, right behind him though, with 4. This is gonna be a fun game, and battle for first place in the AFC North is coming up. Ravens Steelers always exciting, and I cannot wait to call that one for you guys. Heading into Week 7, I've got 3 questions for the league overall. In a new segment I'm calling Questions of the Week. First, can Baltimore cut down on the turnovers and beat Pittsburgh? They have 11 turnovers in their last 4 games. They've been an issue. They've got to clean those up, especially coming into their second matchup against the Steelers. How will the Broncos fare without Nathan Russell? He went out with an injury in their last game. He's now going to miss the next 2 weeks. So, it'll be interesting to see how they do with Drew Lock at the helm. And finally, coming off of a bye week, can the 49ers stay undefeated and go on the road to face the Eagles? That's going to be interesting. They're the only undefeated team left in the NFL. Can they do it? We will have all these questions and more answered once Week 7 wraps up. We'll get to the game, Steelers and Ravens, next video. It's going to be fun. I'm so excited for that one. Alright, you guys, that's going to do it for me for the video. Thank you all so much for listening and watching. I appreciate it so much. Remember to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, share wherever you share cool stuff. And as always, you guys, you know what to do. Keep on shining and keep on grinding. I will see you all in the next one.